And we are live. Hello. Welcome back. We're doing drawing shit tonight. It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been since I want to say Jade Louder joined us on drawing shit,
Yeah, I
possibly.
think that was the last one.
Oof.
That's
And then I
fun.
had to move, and then like there was a Kickstarter, and then there's all this. But we're in the new place. I haven't drawn. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since I've drawn. I was inking some stuff the other day, just to kind of warm up. I was doing it on the LKC call, and I thought that was kind of fun. I'm actually proud of this Orion and this fucking Tensu that I did. Those like burn marks. I was like for just picking it up. It's kind of like when I pick up my bass and I haven't used my bass in a long time, and you just grab it, and then you're just like, oh, I don't suck. Hey, our boy Coffee at a Comic, Frank, how are you? I miss you so much, dude. Um, but yeah, new place is great, and we're ready to like learn how to draw again because I am kind of out of shape. Got to stretch, got to get ready, and the best way to do that is bring two of the most lovely people in the world onto the show tonight for your all's entertainment. And we have Max Flowers and Milo of El Gato Prince.
Hi. Happy
Hello.
to be here.
Dude, yes, I'm so glad you guys came on. I think everyone needs to know about you all. You guys sent an amazing submission to the Punk Anthology, and freaking Milo, you did so much for the posters that everyone's going to be getting, and all the patches that you made for everybody. So I'm so excited. You are gonna get a lot of attention pretty soon, so we might as well just introduce you guys here. And we have some really exciting future plans coming out for everybody. And that's the cool part. We're going to be kind of teaming up a lot more than we have just with the anthology. And the cool thing about the anthology is that it really opened doors for a lot of people for not only for opportunities, but for relationships to be made. And I'm so glad that the anthology brought us together to work on a possible publishing imprint through Apollo City Comics, where we'll be releasing a lot of stuff. And I'm just overly hyped about that and too stoked. And I owe it to you guys for really making that happen.
You're way too kind. You're the one who came to me with the idea, and I just said,
for sure.
I just said okay. But yeah,
Well,
I'm super down to help with whatever.
I'm just like a guy. I'm just a printmaker.
Just a dude,
I'm just a little fella,
and I'm always just the first one to raise my hand. That's the only reason I'm here.
and I just watch things that are happening.
you make cool shit while you're doing it.
Yeah.
But you know what? You guys have a bunch of stuff going on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Rat Brain Zine and what you guys do in the background?
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, we've got all of them right here.
Yeah. So before.
You do it because I really want to.
That's fine.
Get
I'm
this
figuring shit out. Before I ever did anything with Apollo City or LKC, we were doing Rap Brain Zine, and it started in the middle of quarantine, I think. But it was just a way for us to collaborate together and do something cool and combine like my illustrations and his prints. And
yeah, the printmaker and illustrator, it was hard for us to find a way to marry our work together.
Yeah, so we did Rat Brain Zine, which is for rats or radical anarchists and troubled souls, and it's just an art zine about whatever we're struggling with or whatever society is struggling with, and doing some cool kick-ass art. So we have 3 volumes out. We have patches, we have stickers, we have all sorts of shit, and then this is Stage Fright Ash Can, which is in the Punk Anthology, my own self-published DIY version of that, the bootleg version. But yeah, we table at conventions in the Southern California area. About 3 patches and pins and shit.
Yeah, there's
our
one
table.
of the patches right here. I screen printed.
Yeah, they're all screen printed. But the posters are going to be with like the patches for the Punk Anthology are going to be just like that. So yes, that's what
Nice.
But we've all got a shit ton of projects right now just going on. We got to print I don't even know. If we did the math, it'd be like, how many patches are we doing? It's 8 patches.
It's close to 300 patches.
Yeah, probably like 300 patches, and then like over 100 posters. Maybe more. Who knows? But Milo's got his work cut out for him.
I'm working on quite a bit.
And I just get to hang out and move sheets of fabric around.
That's sick. That's one of the coolest things. I love hearing that partnership between you two, like that creative environment that you've created, with an amazing fucking dog too. At the same time, I love that. Yeah, like, and I'm super excited to hang out with you in a couple, almost weeks now in San Diego. That's gonna be super sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
to come
crazy.
meet the dog.
Yeah, he's up here hanging out with us right now. We're up on
Dude, is so cute.
our little tiny space with all of like our instruments and amps and shit that are just like spewed all over the floor. So we're hoping the dog doesn't get into too much trouble while we're out here.
That's gonna be my cat. T'Challa's gonna pop up at some point for sure. So I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about, inking and how to approach inking, because I don't know. For those of you who don't know, drawing shit is all about me learning how to fucking draw, because I don't know how to draw. I have no idea what I'm doing. And if I bring on these amazing professionals, oh dude, I would love to swing by the shop. We need to do a little scheduling, to be honest. I have to catch up with you, Frank, so bad. So bad. So much is going on. And I need to order some comics. I know it's been a minute. But I was just saying something. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, drawing shit's all about me bringing on amazing individuals to teach me how to draw and give me some advice. And what I've really enjoyed is like inking. But I don't feel like I'm very efficient with my inks. I feel like I'm just going over my pencils and tightening them up. But like when it comes to like adding shades and doing stuff like that, that's where I feel like I need a little bit of approach, or like how to control the pen, or multi-uses for pens and whatnot. And your inks, especially, Max, like fucking blow my mind. Stage Fright is so heavy on those inks, like it's so fucking sick.
Yeah, which we'll get there. I have a whole bottle of ink and a Q-tip. That's the secret. But hold on. Yeah, Sage Fright is really heavy on ink. There's a ton of black. This is the only page that's like more white than black. But like especially this page, it's pretty much all fucking black. And that's how I do all my comics. I just finished the Cyberpunk anthology submission and sent that into Alex.
Ooh.
That's like 80% black, honestly. It's pretty crazy. But inking for me is like less of cleaning up pencils and more of like setting down your lines and defining like the detail and the texture and the feel of the piece. Because that's what's gonna really like show up is those sharp black and whites. And getting like the right balance of black and white is super important. But I'll go more into that once I get there. I'm almost.
All right, rad. Yeah, like I feel like inking is one of those things where I've watched a couple of videos of creators and whatnot to get some insight, and it's like everyone, it's your own flavor, it's your own tone, it's your own sound, and you kind of need to play with your pedals and amps and guitars until you find the right one that suits you and gives you your own sound. Because your inking is just as unique, or can be as unique as your pencils.
Yeah, for sure. What's crazy is, okay, so the old school guys, or I don't know, I guess not all old school guys, but a lot of them, they're really like particular about their inks. So hold on a second. So they'll use like tools like these. They'll use like drafting tools, like these circles and their triangles, and that's how they'll ink, and they'll use like fine tips. But I hate doing it that way. I mean, obviously they get great results and their lines are like super freaking clean, but I'd rather just do it all by hand and get that hand-made feel to it.
That's what I like doing.
That's how I do all my letters too.
Oh, really? Awesome.
I do all my letters by hand. So yeah, I mean, I'm all about doing everything on the page that I can, and then doing all the coloring after.
Um, so I guess like choosing the heaviness and like how to approach shades and darkening spots. Like, what's your what's your first like initial thought when you think about that?
So
I actually straight.
yeah, um, the there's obviously a ton of different ways to do your shades. The most common being like cross hatching. Like I feel like that's the foundation of like 90% of comic
Yeah.
reading is cross hatching. But the the thing about cross hatching is that it's one really difficult to do right, and two, it's a little. It's just a little stale, right? Everybody's seen it, so it's not as visually defining, right?
Yeah.
So that, and then the second step, or this like the second establishing thing in comics is halftone, which you can get old sheets of like zipatone or duotone and stuff like that, and physically put that on there, and that does some really cool stuff. I like the halftones and the dots. I tend to
I
add it.
like that a lot.
Yeah, I tend to add it digitally now. But there's artists like Daniel Warren Johnson that still do it all on the page, which is really cool to see.
Dan
And then,
Panosian does that too, actually.
who does?
Dan Panosian?
Oh, yeah. And then the second way is to, or I guess the last way is to figure out however the hell you want to do it. So that's like your personal flavor that comes after experimenting forever. So to me, it, I do a lot of like these little hatch marks. So I'll do stuff like this. Like if I have a circle, then when I'm shading, it's kind of like cross hatching, but you kind of do it all over. And you kind of layer it up, but it's going in random directions, which implies like texture and a roughness to it. But it all depends on the material too, or like that you're trying to render. So like, what's cool about these pens? These are Pilot parallels. So they have these like super wide tip on them. I don't know if this is in frame or not.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can kind of see that. It's a little blurry. It's kind of focusing on it, but I can get the general idea.
Piece of
But
paper.
it's like this super wide nib, and it's just two plates of metal pressed against each other. But what's cool about it is that you can do this. Is that you can do this like splatter,
Oh, rad. I want to learn how to do splatters and shit.
and then you can take like a whiteout pen and clean it up after. So you'll define your shape, get rid of whatever splatter, and then like put your highlights in, smudge it out, and then you can add stuff like that. What's cool about this is that you get to like, it's like you're using spray paint on your comics, and that's what the comic artist named Sean Alexander. He did like a shit ton of issues with Bond, so you probably know his work if you don't know.
Yeah, fucking love him. He's
Yeah,
a nice guy too.
yeah. I took a class with him, but that's what he does. Is he does these splatters, white out, and he calls it like a push and pull.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you lay it down and then you pull it back and then you lay it down and add more until you get the right balance that you want. But that's kind of what I do, and you'll see as I keep going. Is that I'll lay down a bunch of blacks and then I'll go over with my whites.
Ooh, okay. So going over with whites, that's something I need to. I need
Yeah,
to like
it's
find a
highlights.
way to do.
And literally all you need is like these big whiteout pens that you can buy at Staples.
Okay, cool.
And then on the other hand, these Uniball Signos are like better for like fine lines. But,
Nice.
but yeah, okay. Let's finish up this sketch so I can. Hold on.
Yeah, finding materials like that's what I'm always looking for too. Is like, what's good. I use this. I don't know what it is. Pentel, Japan
Oh
brush
yes,
pen.
yeah, yeah. You use the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen.
Yeah,
I'm such like a pen nerd. It's terrible.
I love it.
And so I like know
It's okay.
so many of the pens. Like
I'm
just
a gouge
by
nerd,
sight.
so I've got quite a. I can do the same thing with like my carving tools.
Yeah. So like what Milo is about to do, he's sharpening up his stuff right now so that it's nice and neat. But
There's a lot of negative space on my
Yeah.
blog.
he's doing literally the opposite of what we're doing. He's leaving all of the lines. So he's like
I'm
reversing.
doing a reductive piece versus an add.
Oh wow.
So you're adding ink to a page, and I'm removing space from my block to leave where I want the ink to be.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
literally like this talk of like push and pull is like perfect because we're laying down and we're pushing and Milo is only pulling. He can't add
once,
anything.
Once I take it away, it's gone forever. Like,
yeah. It's like inking on hardcore mode.
It's like reverse, like what we're doing basically. Then, right? Like
Yeah.
the exact reverse. That seems hard as shit.
Yeah. It is.
Simply yes. It's,
Like I can't even do this like going forwards and you're doing it backwards. Like
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
crazy.
kind of why I've got this here. I've got a positive print with me. So of a digital.
oh, nice.
My stuff digitally, and then I just transfer that to my block where I will carve out a negative image. So I've got a reverse negative on my block where I'll carve it all out, and then I will rub some ink on it. It's basically I'm making a stamp at this point.
Yeah, but it's pretty crazy.
It takes a long time.
That's fucking cool.
So what I've got here is a slip strop, what it's called, and it's basically all my tools super sharp. Because if they are not sharp, I will not be able to cut through this old ass rubber that I've got here.
This was like a fun little warm up. This little Freddy Krueger thing I'm doing.
Yeah. Last year I did a bunch of single illustrations of like iconic horror characters for Inktober. So
Nice.
if you scroll back on my Instagram, you'll see a Freddy Krueger there. Look at
The smell of this.
I did the cartoonist kayfabe one this year,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've started. Actually, that's what led me to comics in the first place was Inktober. Is that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do comics for my Inktober. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do a page a day for 30 days just as an experiment. I freaking loved it, and so.
And then you didn't stop talking about it. You couldn't stop reading it.
No, yeah, it was.
It
yeah.
became everything. It was a little bit terrible at first. It was all you could talk and think about.
Yeah,
and now it's still all you can talk about. But I can.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I moved away from doing that because I already do so much all the time that now I just do like fun. But it was a great way to experiment and figure it out. So it was cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's what's fun about it because it made me draw a lot of things I wouldn't have drawn in general.
Yeah.
And then it's like testing. I get to experiment with like different inking ideas, like these little burn marks and like pens, and test shit out, see what I like, and slowly start developing a hand that's kind of steady enough to create a style.
Yeah, and so much of it is like it's so much of it is like just mileage of drawing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you aren't doing a ton of the brute force of learning how to draw, then inking is only going to be that much harder because that's you laying down your lines. So you need
Yep.
to, so like it's really funny. There's like a company called Draw a Box. They do like online shit, but they teach you how to draw from a line. So instead of drawing a line with your wrist like this, and you'll get some, or like slow because you're trying to do it straight. Like here, let me do this with a pen. So
Yeah, no one can
shows
see
that.
this weak ass pencil you got here.
Yeah, I have a really light pencil. So instead of like trying to pull a line and then you're doing it like really slow, then it'll be all wobbly. And especially if you draw from your wrist, right? It's like a curved line.
Yeah.
That's how your wrist works. So what you need to do is you need to like hold your arm up and then draw from your shoulder really fast and decisively, and then you'll get like these nice straight lines.
Ooh. Okay.
And then
Like
so
kind of
they,
the same thing with a circle.
yeah. So what they do, what they have to do is really fill up like 5 sheets of paper with just straight lines, and then from there, it's like, okay, well now can you draw a square using that same technique and getting those nice lines, or can you draw a circle from your shoulder and it be relatively circular and clean? And then, okay, can you turn it into a cube? It's like they really go step by step, and it all comes from that basis of like knowing how to draw a line, right? Being able to like connect the dots here and do like a smooth, clean line.
Wow, that did help a lot. Just that little suggestion right there. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's crazy, and so it's all about like building up muscle memory and learning how to do it all.
I really do love like how
And I'm like so low.
Yeah, he's in like a. He's
I'm
in like
sitting
a
on like a little stool because one of our chairs is broken. And so I'm like, I feel like a toddler at this table, and it's so slippery. And so my I have very little control over this block right now.
Okay, let's see. We'll start inking this now.
I'm not crazy about it.
Okay, this is what I want.
This is gonna have a lot of negative space on it.
Yeah. So when I start inking, at least on this, so I'm doing way looser pencils than I usually. But that's because I want to talk about inking and put a ton of ink on this.
You should have probably done your pencils
Earlier, yeah.
and I probably should have prepped my block. This is also way looser than how I usually prep my blocks. This looks psycho bananas to me.
We'll figure it out. Whatever.
I didn't put my layer of like red on
Red
here.
on, yeah.
Actually,
You want
it's
some?
too late. No, I've already started carving.
Okay, I have brushes.
Okay.
But anyway, when I start inking, especially on something loose, I'll actually sometimes start on like smaller details just to figure out like where things are, or like really busy areas. So like it's gonna be hard to see because my pencil is so light. But there's like a bird and flowers and stuff, and that's gonna be like super freaking busy. So that's what I'm gonna like establish inking first, and then the rest of it is more open. So I'll be able to like clean those areas up better. Are you still doing this Freddy Krueger?
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
So you're using a brush pen, right?
Yeah, and then I also use the microns. Like I'll use that for some
Yeah.
thin stuff, and there's a cool like flat one I like using a lot too.
Yeah. So when you're using that like brush pen,
Uh-huh.
you really gotta like be careful about pressure of your hand. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
super heavy-handed.
Oh shit.
So brush pens, I have to like force myself to be super light to get those lines, and then like I almost never push up with the pen. I almost always
yeah,
pull down. Yeah, because pushing up just like is a nightmare.
yeah. Finding the directions with that was like kind of it's been a fucking uh it's been a struggle, you know. So
Yeah,
like
you
sometimes I
gotta like
well honestly when I go up I get thinner lines, but if I
really.
go yeah when I go down I get the thicker ones. I wish I could have shown you. I just did it, but yeah, going up if I go slow enough I get like a thinner line than I could if I was going down.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So okay, yeah,
but
I
it
can
takes a
see
lot of control and a
now.
lot of focus.
But yeah, I brought it up a little.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's the most challenging thing, to be honest. Like, and that's kind of why I enjoy it.
what inking?
Just like this brush tip, because it
Oh yeah,
really makes me focus on what I'm doing and be cautious with like how I lay it, how I'm gonna move, and your mistakes. You have to really work around them and work with them.
yeah,
It's so interesting. When I draw on paper, I don't do pencil at all.
yeah.
I just do pens.
Yeah, he'll just go straight in.
I
Really?
Yeah, like if I'm doing a piece on paper, I don't fuck around with pencils. And that could be more because I'm impatient and just want to get to the inking because it's my favorite part. Or I don't know.
I used to do it. It's actually really good for you because it forces you to like think about when you draw. Versus pencils, you can get so lost in like shading and messes
Yep.
and stuff. That yeah, it's actually really good for you to draw with just a pen. It is extremely difficult.
I love it. It feels so good in my monkey brain. I have to stop putting this so close to me. I'm just gonna cut myself first. There we go.
Yeah,
I just sharpened these and this is so slippery. So I'm like, if I slip at all, it's gonna be quite a deep cut today.
yeah. Milo's basically drawing with freaking razor blades.
It's very true. I'll show you. These are my flat gouges, and it is just literally a slightly curved razor blade.
That's so
And
sick.
they have gone straight into my finger many a time. Because if you can slip, suddenly it will cut a little bit. It'll slip up. I don't know how to describe it. It slips, and then it slips into your finger sometimes.
And then you die.
You don't die. It's just you'll bleed all over your linoleum.
I don't know. It's pretty punk.
Pretty punk. Yeah, I suppose. It's annoying. Then that finger kind of hurts to hold your block with it for the rest of the time you're carving.
Yeah. So like, let me bring my page up so you can see it better. So I'm starting with these like super tiny little details because they're going to be the front, and I need to figure out where they are. So that but that's what the push and pull is for. That if I fuck up, that I can like the light go over it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I'll pull like because these are like beginning lines too. They're super light and thin, and like they're almost dotted, so that like I have the freedom and flexibility to move that line later.
Oh, okay.
But like you don't have.
I do really like stuff like that too. I see what you mean there, to where it's almost still flexible, where you could grow or shrink on stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the number like everybody, like all the inkers are all like, oh, if something's not looking right, just add more black. So,
Yeah. I think that's what I've learned about it too, is just like, if I feel like something doesn't look right, just make the lines thicker.
right. Or like conversely, if something doesn't look right, you can always just throw it into shadow. So you'll just do big masses of black and it'll feel like just the shadow blending into everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my opinion the way to do it.
That's what I need to do more of, is just like immerse it in the blacks a bit more.
Oh my god!
You want a pen?
Or some ink, paint. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're asking for. Don't worry.
Something to coat my
You just
block.
need a color.
Anything. Light pink works.
You need a brush.
A sponge would be preferred.
I don't have a sponge. I have a Q-tip.
Do you have a napkin?
Nope.
A brush is fine.
The brush is over there. Grab one.
You offer one. What do you
Q-tips. Told you.
are? Where are brushes?
Oh.
I think it's new.
Yeah, I picked it because it's not for. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I got looking on the head. It can be okay. Doesn't really matter. Because it's going for sure.
Yeah, so like I always start out doing like that more simple like outline. That's kind of what you're going to do, but with some you have some shadow. But I always do the outline and then I'll add the shadow as needed.
I think I just need to erase the pencils on this now, and it would be pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't see it because Milo took it off. But,
You can get one of those plastic.
yeah, it's funny to me. I never erase my pencils.
Really?
Yeah. Part of it's because I'm lazy. That's number one reason.
I love the feeling of erasing the pencils. I just think it looks so much cleaner.
I know everybody loves it, but here's what I'll get you is that when you erase your pencils, you're smearing and lightening your ink.
Yeah.
So then oftentimes you'll have to go over it again or whatever.
Your water.
Yeah, and then and then two, you lose all the energy that your pencils have. So if somebody's buying an original, I think it's cool for them to see both the pencils and the inks, and then yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Hold on. We gotta make sure the puppy or water.
What is that?
I don't know, some weird.
Party
You have a party cup on.
Here, Bunny, thirsty?
Okay, so when you erase your pencil lines, you're losing all that energy beneath, and then if you're scanning it into a computer to like color, you can super easily edit out the pencil lines. through contrast or brightness or whatever the hell you want to do. So I almost never erase my pencil line because I feel like it's
That's crazy.
it's a part of the process.
That makes sense. I can totally understand that. Just overall that aspect. I think it's just like that's okay. That's cool because I also don't do a lot digitally, so I didn't even think about what you can do once you plug that into the computer.
Yeah.
How do you guys scan stuff? Do you just use a typical regular scanner? What's your scanning process look like?
If I want something really nice, my mom has a really nice scanner at her work. So I'll straight up get her.
She has an industrial copier.
Yeah, so I'll have her scan it. But otherwise, lately I've lived my phone camera because phone cameras are so overpowered now. Yeah, they're ridiculously good, and so then you can take a picture, and then I just have a formula on how to edit it digitally to get just clean whites and clean blacks, and make sure nothing's like warped or anything like that. That I'll just lay my page out in the sun, and then so it's flat on the ground, and then I'll put my phone camera right over it and make sure there's no shadows on it, and then just take a picture of it. That's literally all I do, and then I'll just edit it, which is pretty crazy. Nobody does it like that, really.
No. I'm kind of surprised because that was my first like intuition on how to do it, and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be like as good as I think it'd be.
No, I'm serious. It's perfectly fine. All you have to do is spend hours doing it and then learn how to properly edit your photos, which obviously is like easier said than done, but yeah.
I'm gonna begin the erasing of the pencils on mine.
Ooh.
And I go real soft too. Like I don't really press down on it very much. I wait a while for the inks to dry, and I don't do heavily inked areas typically.
Yeah.
But
I'm so sorry.
I like seeing it brighten up. Because I feel like I do such messy pencils underneath. That's what cleans it up, is just erasing them.
Yeah.
Oh, see, like I feel like that, like this already looks way better. Just cleaned up.
Okay, what kind of pencil do you use?
I've been using, what is it, like the thicker ones. Is it H or is it B? I don't remember. I don't know exactly what it is. My favorite one is 6B.
Okay.
I love a good soft pencil like that. See, I'm a charcoal boy if I'm using anything like that.
Oh, nice.
And
So,
I just got charcoal pencils. A friend just gave me some. Or no, they're not charcoal. They're
I'm
like water.
the mushiest
they're great.
divine charcoal I can get my hands on.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
I'm messy.
So it's funny because I use pretty much the exact opposite of you. I use a 6H. So
Oh wow, okay.
my lines are pretty much invisible, but that's because part of the reason is because I'm super heavy-handed naturally. So if you give me a 6H, it's gonna be like black on my paper, and then when I ink over it, I can't see what I'm inking versus the pencil.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably why it feels great to erase your pencils, just because
It's so
super
drastic.
dark.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Benny.
it's a super dark change or super drastic change, so you get to see your whites.
I'm gonna start a Michael Myers piece I have now.
Oh hell yeah!
But this was all from. I actually drew these 3 horror sketches in one day to catch up on Inktober.
Benny, can you come lay down, please?
It's funny. I never actually really
Lay down in here.
liked the Halloween movies,
Same. I'm not a slasher movie person at all.
or
I've never seen any of them.
or Friday the 13th. I'm not a fan either. But
Same.
but I do like Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Nightmare on Elm Street's really well done.
I'll check it out.
That's Freddy Krueger. But
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. It's easy to get them all mixed up. But like Texas Chainsaw too is like
Oh, I actually do enjoy Texas Chainsaw. I've seen the 70s one.
yeah, because it's still a slasher film, but it's actually like well done, but it's really freaking brutal. It's really brutal.
Let him breathe. There we
I
go.
would love to.
Pick a spot and be.
And then
I'm
be in
worried.
my
I don't
lap.
know what's going
He wants in my lap because he's usually like on that little stool next to me when I'm working,
on. Oh yeah.
so he can be in my lap. But right now he has to be on the floor. You're too big of a dog to sit in my lap on this little bench, Bob. Sorry. I know. Life's hard.
Yeah. So what's your process like when you're starting a new piece and sketching?
I don't really like. It depends what I'm sketching or what I'm trying to do. I kind of do like a very, very, very loose, like just like figure outline to kind of just set the sizes for some stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I really kind of just go at it. Trying to think if I have an example I could show for something like that.
You're
I
most
don't,
like scribbling away.
She stick your little foot in there.
dude. Honestly, like a lot of these Inktober ones, I just kind of went for it. Like I just kind of do it like a shitty drawing, and then I just keep on tightening up the pencils with different shades. And so when I change my pencil, I kind of go over my old pencils, so it starts from a really thin line and it starts thickening up and coming to life.
Right.
It's I don't know. It's kind of weird to be honest.
Yeah. I'm always just curious because I'm trying to go back to fundamentals, really, to
Yeah.
try and just tighten up all my drawing skills and be a better.
Dude, teach me the fundamentals because I
Yeah,
don't know them.
I will. Honestly, it's really boring. I'm telling you right now, it's ridiculously boring.
Well, it's just like, playing your scales and it's just like going
Yeah.
to the metronome and shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit's boring as fuck. But you know what? It's gonna make you a way better musician.
You're the nerd that like their scales.
I love you.
I tried.
So I really I've been focusing more on like anatomy, but less because what I'm really interested in like is lines and like construction of whatever you're drawing. So when you're drawing, there's like a bunch of ways to draw. So you can do, if you're doing like a cube, right? So you can do the outline of a cube and then do your inner lines after, right? Or you can do just whatever you want, right? And then like just do it real quick. Or you can do like two squares that overlap and then go back like that into space. And so what most places teach is actually like this idea of transparent drawing. So when you're drawing like something that's complex, like a figure, you're doing like, okay, here's the cranium, and then here's this shape that's like teeth, and then you have like this shape for that, and then okay. So now where's the eyes, and then you just draw a line, and then here's the nose. Like, oh, the nose is going to be like this like weird triangle shape, and then you say, okay, well the neck is going to connect over here somewhere, so let me draw like an oval where the neck connects, and then be like a tube, so then you like do the neck here, and then okay, well I know that this plane goes this way, so I'll draw like a box here, and then I make this box be bigger so that it's the chest cavity. And then okay, the arm socket's gonna be a circle there, and then it's a tube out, and then here's another circle. And so it's like it's just breaking everything down into simple forms and drawing through the form. Because otherwise, if I just try and draw the arm here.
See, but you and I like different forms.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So
We do
I
this
like
totally different.
Yeah. So Milo will do a lot of like layered ovals.
I like egg shapes.
Yeah, like this. And
No,
you have your figures.
you don't know what I
Okay,
do.
fine. But I'll do
Big
like
fan.
for like especially legs and stuff. I'll do these like lemon wedges. So that's one part of the leg, and then
Just a pointy egg, if you ask me.
here's the other part, and then the foot can be like this. Versus if you do the oval, it still conveys the same shape, but in my opinion, you don't have the same directionality to it.
You
But-
can put it on there. This is just
Yeah.
to build it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all just like shorthand, but that's what's so crazy about it is
Dude,
that
where are these little cards?
no, I don't.
I should have brought.
I know. Yeah, just go grab some scrap paper. But that's what's crazy about it is that the fundamentals get taught so many different ways, and there's no one way to draw.
Set my way.
But yeah, exactly. But there is like academic ways to draw. They're just boring and don't usually lend themselves as much to creativity and stuff like that. So
Yeah, usually lens. It's usually like, here's the product. Here's how to make the product.
Yeah, and that's what I always talk about is that the Marvel like how to draw is like, okay, you start with a cube and then you do this and you add a loose outline and then there's Daredevil and you're like, what the fuck? I missed like 4 steps between
like,
this cube and
Did I
Daredevil.
fall asleep for a minute? Like,
yeah, everybody jokes about like the books that you can buy at like Michael's or whatever, and it's like how to draw a horse. And then it's just like 3 circles, and then the next step is a
suddenly
fully
it's done.
rendered horse.
or even like those little like 30-second videos on Instagram or something.
Oh
Where
yeah.
Don't do it
Yeah.
this way, do it this way. But they don't really show you what they do different. It's just here's hyper realism and here's stylized. Like,
Right. Yeah, so it's all weird.
it's all nonsense, IMO.
But there's plenty of books that you can get that do teach useful stuff.
I really liked that life drawing one. No, I don't remember what it's
I have this book, the constructive anatomy one, and we were going through it for a little bit. And it's really interesting on how it kind of helped us kind of visualize some muscle parts and everything. So I've enjoyed that. I need to practice it a lot more now that I'm drawing again.
Yeah, I have like a tiny little book that I've been copying, and I'll just sit there and I'll just copy every single drawing. And then it's just drilling it into my brain.
What I really wanted to do when I had a printer was print out a bunch of like pages, like Jack Kirby stuff, and then
what I
start
should
outlining the shapes,
get in
like
space.
doing my cylinders and shit like that. Thought
Yeah,
that'd be really fun.
That's a great way to learn, and don't ever let anybody tell you that like, oh, you're just tracing. You shouldn't trace people's stuff. It's not about tracing. It's about learning.
Yeah, Neil Adams always fucking was an advocator for fucking using a fucking light board to trace and shit. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of got you to a certain point to figure out how, go over the indentations of a photograph of something,
Yeah, because that's how you learn is you look at something and then you absorb it. And if you want to take, that's what kids do. That's literally all how you learn is.
Dude, I would have never given up drawing, but like I got shit when I was a kid for tracing, and I just like stopped. And I'm
Yeah.
just like,
No, like how are you expected to learn how it feels to do these shapes? Like,
yeah. It's like doing letters, you know what I mean? Like you would trace a letter as you figured
Yeah,
out, like,
because that's how people just naturally learn, is imitating others, and then later you can figure out how to do whatever it is that you want to do.
I don't usually do this part now, but
Benevolent Plum
or
is breaking out their sketchboard as well. Hell yes. Thanks for hanging. Um, I'm hyped that you guys were available to bring the show back. It's been such a fun segment of mine that just doesn't get enough love and attention. And
Yeah,
oh, I see.
we've been wanting to do our own like drawing.
Oh, that's
show.
my mom. Heck yeah, drawing that sketchbook B.
We've been wanting to do our own like drawing show for forever now. We just don't have like a great setup for it, but we just want to do like
Drawing Pokemon from memory.
like drawing Pokemon from memory or drawing whatever. Like,
well,
and
we
wanna
do
do it on-
prompts typically. Like we'll have a spinner wheel and it chooses a character for us, and we just
Yeah.
and it'll like we'll either do free form where we spend hours doing it, or we'll do oh fuck, Mac isn't even plugged in. Or we'll do like timed ones. Like we tried doing Spawn in like 15 minutes, and that shit was hard. But like it makes you realize the restraints you have in that time,
Yeah, and it's fun.
Oh.
And it also getting to do silly stuff like that removes a lot of pressure to be perfect and to make perfect stuff all of the time.
Exactly.
That I talk to my mom about a lot. Where I made her this tiny sketchbook out of scrap paper, and like I told her just to fill it up with garbage because it's really hard to draw on a blank piece of paper.
It is.
But if you just do silly stuff like a Pokemon from memory, then there's no expectation for it to look like anything other than a goofy Pokemon. Like,
yeah,
that's what I mean, we'll start doing those again too, getting those fun little prompts and have multiple people. Before it was just Danny and I, so now having some audience and growth with the show and creators on it, that would be a lot of fun.
these are too sharp. I'm carving through the burlap.
Oh no.
I'm also like at a really awkward.
Okay, so this is a great thing for me to talk about for inking, is I'm doing this hair right now, laying it in.
I'm doing hair too.
Nice. So
Nice.
so when you're doing it with like a brush pen, the best way to do it is to like do it really loose and fast like this, and like barely let anything touch.
Nice. That's cool as fuck. Let me
And then
highlight
feathering
you.
it out, but I'm pulling like this, and then you can get that kind of like hair texture, because what you don't want to do is draw every single piece of hair.
Oh yeah.
So rendering it this way is great. And then because this part is all messy right here and doesn't look very good, because that's just where I was starting to get the nice edge on the other side. And then you just do the exact same thing in the other direction. Is just do it really quick. You set your pen down and then like flick up, and you can get that nice like feathered edge to it.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's cool as fuck.
But this is almost like a dry brush technique. So it just works better when your thing is dry, because then you'll get the nice gray tones and you can build everything up.
Stressing.
But yeah, now I moved into a brush pen too. So
Same. This would be like your Q-tip. what I'm
Kind
doing.
of. Well, you can get what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I guess I can do it right now because I know what's going where. Okay.
Where
My
I'm
secret.
just doing a huge chunk at a time.
Yeah. My secret weapon for getting flat blacks and doing a shit ton of it really fast
Although this will be all white.
is a
There
bottle.
won't be any ink
Yeah,
on here.
you're doing it reverse.
Yeah.
But it's a bottle of ink and a Q-tip. And
Ooh.
where did I pick this up from? I picked this up from Scotty Young, who does a lot of the like young Marvel stuff, but he does those.
Yeah.
But a Q-tip and Speedball Super Black will get you like the flattest blacks you've ever seen. So I literally will just rub it.
Oh, sick. I need to do that with backgrounds more often.
Yeah. Okay, so what this does, aside from just being like black, right? It's creating a balance. So all of this is like white. So it feels very light and you don't understand the form or the environment or anything like that. But as soon as you lay in
I'm sorry, I called garbage.
a solid black, right? And then if I did it on the other side too, like, right? Suddenly that figure stands out more against
Yeah, fuck yeah.
thin
Her
line.
hair, dude.
What? Oh, I know.
Lost her hair.
But that's what I had back, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of that is to just add in blocks to make stuff pop. That's the whole point of all of it, right? Is to convey a sense of 3D space and that everything is turning and there's all sorts of volume and light and whatever.
Fuck yeah.
I guess it doesn't have to be.
I might have finished big blocks of it, but I have finished some other.
Because I mean, it all depends on what you're trying to do, right? So this, I'm trying to sell that this is like a form, or you know, there's a person here interacting with this stuff, and it's kind of dark. They're holding a dead bird, so they to be a lot of black. So. Or like fabric, right?
hmm That's what I was thinking even for this piece. Like the fabrics, I was going over really heavily with heavy strokes of black.
Yeah. He has to do it.
Oh,
You can do this stuff.
oh wow! I didn't know you could YouTube that.
Yeah. So yeah, those thick outlines are great on there. Yeah. So all of that side that you're shading right now. Right,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
You're trying to convey that that's like shadow, right? But you're also
Uh-huh.
to convey that there's a form there. So you have to like follow the form of the torso, you're shading, and then the other thing is like where the light is, and like oftentimes light, it's either light or shadow. There's very little that's in between. You should be able you should be able to divide it like almost in half.
Okay.
And there'd be one half light and one half shadow. And then shadow is usually completely flat. Otherwise, it's light. Then you can see the detail. Because if there's no light, then you can't see the detail. It's all washed out.
So like let me even out the screen over here. So all of this part should be like more blacked out, and the
Right.
arm keep it blacked out, and then leave this like light detail here
Show you.
Yeah.
with just smaller patches of black probably.
Yeah. So
fighting for my life against this linoleum's like a year old, like scrappy, or it's probably older than that scrap linoleum that Todd Smith gave me.
So let's say you have a head right here, right? Use your eyes. He's plotting it on me.
I'm sorry.
Right. So here's your head and your outlines. This is kind of small and tiny, but hopefully you can see it. So let's say I want the lighting to be coming like this, right? So this is the light, and it all kind of goes down like that onto this figure. So if there's obviously a lot of different ways to solve this. It's all problem solving, but in comics, a lot of the time, your shadows are just flat blacks and it's spot blacks. You can do it in shading and create these different levels of tone. Right, yeah. But what you're going to do is, like, okay, well, the eye socket will cast a shadow down here, and then there's your form, and then, okay, the cheekbone here.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then this connects, and then, okay, well, the nose will cast a shadow on this side, and then it'll cast a shadow down here, and then this will go like this, right? And then forehead is a little round. But so this is all black, right? Think about it as if you're like Mike Mignola and you just want to like put down as black as you can. Here, let me hold it a little closer. See, but so half of it's black and half of it's white, right? But you still have that volume. But like, let's say this guy has a mustache, right? You would add all of the detail to the light side, and then you'd add the eyebrow to the white side, and then like, okay, well, there's a little bit of like shading you need to do here, shading like this. But as soon as you add stuff to this side, and it depends on your style. But as soon as,
I like the white mustache hair.
Yeah, as soon as you add stuff to that side and start adding like the details of ear over here, or like details of the skin and like your eyebrow, yeah, hair, and right, suddenly like your form isn't as convincing because it's hard to tell shadow. It's better if I really like did an exaggerated version of it. So as soon as you have like all of these like kind of 50-50 areas like this, you lose sense of where the shadows are and the lights are. So it's better to just keep it flat black, because then you know exactly where the shadows are and where the light is. No confusion about it. These are all like really kind of like that. I don't know, like these are like fine art principles, right? So trying to draw like a realistic form, like nothing in your shadows should be lighter than what's in the light, because then that implies there's another light there.
Okay.
But it's all like really like heady, technical, fine art stuff.
It's important to know, like,
Yeah,
there
because
shouldn't be something brighter in the shadows than in the light, because what's making it brighter?
yeah, exactly. You're implying that there's a light, which, but yeah, changes the form. But like in comics or stylized drawing in general, you're allowed to change the rules to suit whatever you want. So it doesn't always apply, which is where it's tricky. Like, okay, you can either study realism and study cartooning, and they'll give you very different things, but you oftentimes need both to make it really good.
For sure.
That's what I think.
I agree. I think you need to
Yeah.
apply both principles of like, here's how to make something really dynamic and interesting, entertaining to look at, while also still like making it make sense, like process correctly in a human brain. You know?
Yeah, because or else nobody will know what the heck.
Yeah, and then it still needs to be like dynamic and interesting, or else I've seen it before. I don't care.
Yeah.
I can see that. That makes sense. Fuck yeah. All right, so I added like a lot of heavier blacks after hearing some of that.
Oh yeah.
So
How do you like it?
I think it's way better already. You know what I mean? Just switching it over and
Oh, it looks so sick.
Yeah, because now you can see like, oh, the light's coming from the left.
And it gives a really. There's a lot of what the fuck is happening.
He switched.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
I forget there's a lag on some of
there's
it.
a lot of movement to what's happening too. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna add like a little bit of black, like heavier blacks along this arm, just to kind of thicken it up a bit, but not like heavy over here. It's just gonna make the lines
Yeah.
thicker.
Well, and because you have that like feathered edge, right, on the edge of the black, you're implying the form is round, which it is.
I'm trying to decide what to put on my pizza tonight.
Yeah, what's your go-to pizza?
Yeah, chat. What do you say?
Dude, man, being vegan, like you only have like the same.
Well, I
fucking
mean, like
options.
pizza toppings. What do you get on there? What do you?
Oh, dude, I fucking slaughter pizzas for one. I'll put
put?
bell pepper, onion, mushrooms. If I have black olives, I will. Dude, kimchi on pizza. Have y'all had kimchi on pizza?
Oh,
I really like.
that sounds good.
It
though.
does sound bomb AF. I'm really into like. I was in Flagstaff at this place called Namarco's, and they have an SOB pizza that means south of the border, and it's like green chili and black beans and corn.
Oh fuck yeah, Mexican pizza. I've had we had that in El Paso.
It was so good. Anything. I'm just really into like legumes on pizza. I guess is the point of that one.
Fuck yes. I mean, honestly, like, and I am a big like fake meat person. Not gonna lie. And so whenever I get Beyond
we're
sausage,
literally there's a Beyond Burger pack helping hold up our our situation here.
Yeah,
you might be able to see it. No, there's a Beyond Burger cookout classic.
Oh, dude, I just fucking ate some of those earlier too. That's my favorite box.
These Lego figures into the void.
Yeah, like this is literally kind of like holding up our whole deal right now.
Beyond Meat.
Yeah, I love a
Not
Beyond
sponsored.
sausage on my pizza. I love making like a vegan like bibimbap with meatless ground.
Uh-huh.
And I bet that would be great on pizza. I love the kimchi pizza. Sounds great with the bibimbap.
Mm-hmm. How's
with
the
like with Korean beef and kimchi pizza?
How's the vegan meat selection in wherever you are?
Dude, it's not the best, I'm not gonna lie, but I have some options for sure. There's a place down the street from me that gives some bomb fucking just vegan veggie pizza, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a new place called Pizza Twist, and they have like Indian inspired pizzas. Like, and it's fucking
I'm
good.
so down. Oh my god.
Yeah. We've been hitting that up pretty often.
What about like in grocery stores and stuff? Are you like
pretty much restricted here? All I have is like an Aldi's and a Walmart and like Costco. But I mean, it just makes me like work a lot with what I have, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of easy because a lot of times I eat the same shit all the time. Like for lunch, I eat like chicken and veggies and rice, and so it's like my daily lunch. And
yeah, we have we get the beefless ground from Trader Joe's, and I make a Korean like a Korean beef with the ground beef, and we just put it over rice with vegetables. We make bibimbap a lot. I'm into the Korean flavors for sure. I've not found a like prepackaged kimchi that I'm super into, but I haven't tried very many. So I'll have to try some more. Kimchi pizza sounds great.
I guess let me push this back out here and not tuck it under my head.
I think the internet fucking froze.
Oh, really? The internet went out?
I can't tell.
Brandon.
Uh-oh.
Bruh.
Or is it your phone?
I think our internet's fine.
I don't know. I'm not having any problems. Oh. Just us.
Oh, Rip Brandon.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? We're taking over his stream.
What's up, chat? Anyways. Yeah.
Who's in here?
Millie's here. Red bell pepper and spinach. Okay. Some iron. For
I
sure.
like spinach on pizza.
I
Arugula
think
on pizza too.
I'm more down with arugula than spinach. I think that spinach on pizza gets wilty and slimy.
Spinach on pizza? It can.
For sure.
It's good when it's crispy though.
Spinach?
Yes.
I've never had
You never
crispy
had crispy
spinach.
spinach?
No.
Yeah. Poor Brandon. I guess we're just gonna be chilling here and take. I don't know.
Text him.
Make sure he didn't die.
I don't know what to do here.
I'm sure he can come back and take over the stream. I don't know if this.
Do we have to invite him back?
If this has ever happened. No, it's not like Zoom.
I don't know what just happened. My computer turned off completely. Oh, his computer turned off. Uh-oh. Yeah, you did. Huh. Well, talk about what you're working on for a second, Max, while I talk to Brandon.
Here, wait, no. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna plug Rap Brain. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Rap Brain Zine, everybody. Please go check it out. We have an Instagram, Rap Brain Zine. We also have a website for the shop, rapbrainzine.bigcartel.com. Go check it out and order yourself your own copy. We have volume 1. I did the first half.
There's a hair on it. That's nice.
Yuck. I did the first half. It's all super cool illustrations, and then this is Milo's second half. Super cool prints. All 8-page printed on nice quality parchment paper
Yeah.
and hand stitched.
That
hand
one is
bound.
literally
This one's
falling
messed
apart.
up because this is our copy. But
This one
your
we
copy,
use for like lining up and measuring everything, so the thread gets cut by pens and pencils and stuff.
yeah, and here's more what the binding looks like.
Hand stitched, gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful, different colors.
Yeah, it's custom to the paper for each volume. We are running out of paper colors though.
And the Stage Fright Ash Can, which if you backed the Apollo City anthology, you'll be getting a full color version of this. And our little mascot, he squeaks. But
Oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say
I
don't
triggered it,
squeak
huh?
the rat.
I triggered our dog. And we have patches, we have stickers, we have pins. If there's anything you want, hit us up and maybe we'll make it for you and send it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we have any conventions going right now.
No, I don't think there's any zine fests coming up quite yet. Where you can usually find us at your local SoCal Zine Fest.
Yeah, we're in this Southern California, Orange County area, so anything around there, you can catch us at. Or
Can't
just
believe
hit us up.
I squeaked the rat.
I can't believe Brandon just abandoned us like
His
this.
computer shut off.
I know.
I'm not sure what happened.
Okay.
Bunny, eat your cookie.
No cookie. There's no Gato out there on the big butt.
Here's the progress on the block so far.
Yeah, talk about printmaking more.
I'm not really sure what to say about it. It's kind of a drawing stream. Like, it's about learning how to draw and get better at inking and what techniques are being used. And, you know, I don't use a lot of those techniques in what I'm doing. Oops.
Well, you had to draw that. And, you know, how you learning to draw affected your printmaking? Because you went to art school.
I did go to art school.
So obviously you pick some shit up and it affects everything you do, you know?
I don't know. Ask me the easier question first. My brain's been shut off for the most part, just focusing on not cutting my fingers open.
Okay, a big part of inking, right, is kind of creating tones and values. So how do you create values in printmaking?
So with one color printmaking, a lot of your value is either going to be black or white.
I think that's pretty much your only option for relief printing, right?
Not necessarily. So
You can do a gray?
No, but you can. I'll show you. I have an example up here. Luckily, it's an old artist proof for. It's an old artist proof for something I submitted to a student gallery last year or the year before while I was still in school. And it's a part of my tarot card relief print thing. So you can kind of get different tones. You can apply the same concepts. You can use hatching and cross hatching the same way you can with a pen. It's just you're a little bit limited in how fine a line you can get.
Right.
So here I want this to look much darker than lighter. So I I just leave a lot of linoleum and carve very light white lines into it. I'll hold it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, and it's partially, I don't know what the heck I'm saying. I forgot. Ignore me.
And then along through here, I'm carving away more to get a kind of lighter tone. But it still reads as shadow. It still kind of reads as a gray, especially when you look at it from further away. It's not a flat gray like you would see with paint, maybe, but it's like a pen, you know? It's still hatching.
Right, and so, but a lot of it also, depends on size, too, right?
Right, this is very small. This is a 4x6.
Because you're using,
I'm using
larger
micro
tools, right?
For this one, I think that the smallest I had was not very small. Now I've got the Flex Cut micro palm. Oh my God. The Flex Cut micro tools, which I love them dearly. I think this one is a 45-degree separator. So it's a very, very tiny, like a 1.5 millimeter V shape. Really? It's very small. So I can get really, really tight lines with it. I'm pressing pretty hard.
1.5.
It's really small. The actual.
Oh, right, like the bottom. Yeah, I see.
The actual where they meet is very.
Yeah. Tight. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so you can just tap it, see? And I can get really, really fine lines.
And because ink is fluid, right, when you print that, it can come out gray. Like in this one, there are grays over here.
Yeah, in the background, all of this negative space that I'm carving back here that you're seeing is gray versus the pink right now can print as background noise, which will look gray. And it kind of looks like the texture of water maybe, or spider webs a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's also called plate tone. In a lot of, for etching, it's called plate tone.
Yeah.
Which it's the same concept here. It's just the ink that's in the background of your image.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Because like with ink, right? It's
And
I
by
can
ink
go-
is my ink is different than your ink. My ink is a lot more like acrylic paint, maybe, or
yeah. See, what's interesting about but you were talking about like base tone, right? It's like
plate tone.
plate tone. If I go over this over and over again, I can get a flat black.
Mhm.
But usually I don't. And so I get these kind of like directional strokes where the ink's a little bit thinner because it's all water based.
Mhm.
And you can even use that as texture or grays or whatever. At least in originals, when I edit everything is pretty much turned completely
Right.
black. But you should take the camera down and do tricks of bonsai. Or we just held captive here until Brandon
I don't
comes
know
back.
what to do.
This is so
I'm really
funny.
not sure. What are some first timer tips for
Oh yeah.
making prints and inking it? So, I guess it kind of depends on what type of printmaking you're doing. If you're doing relief printmaking, I would suggest definitely starting bigger and starting with a mounted block. Right now, I'm using unmounted linoleum, and I'm using a 7x7 square sheet that I bought a 12x12 sheet that I have then cut up and used for a couple of different projects. And I think Todd gave me this. A 12-inch sheet of unmounted linoleum is $4.80 at Blick. Pretty inexpensive for a huge sheet. You can buy huge rolls of it. This is Battleship gray linoleum. That's what I work on the most. I just bought a big pack of like Speedball Speedy Carve pink rubber because I want to get into like block printing onto fabric, and that's what all of these people use for it. So I want to try that. Can't speak on it.
What about mounted versus unmounted?
I was an avid mounted block hater for a long time.
I know.
I would not use them. But I get it now.
Is it because you were forced to do it?
I was forced to use it for a class I was taking and also teaching with Todd Smith. And so I had to know how it felt and how to use it really, really well in order to teach other people how to use it. And it's the same thing, but it's on like an inch tall piece of, what is it?
I don't know. It's like a wood chip block.
No, what's
It's
the
like masonite?
No, it's like drywall. What's it called? Plywood. It's like on an inch, a mounted block. It's just the same sheet of linoleum glued onto a chunk of plywood that is cut to the same size. You can buy them mounted, or you can buy a huge sheet and mount it yourself, which is a lot cheaper. And most people do it that way. And it really just gives you something to hold on to. So it's just a flat piece of nothing. It's just the linoleum that is poured over burlap, and then it's left to set. So really, you can see me holding on to it like this for dear life, because there's nothing to hold on to give yourself leverage while you're cutting it. A mounted block at least has a little something for your fingers to hold on to while you're gouging, you know?
Yeah. And so then, like, when you're actually carving, like, are you thinking about, like, pulling lines the same way that you would ink, right? Because, like, ink, like, I'm, like, pulling a line like this, right?
Right.
Brandon!
Dude.
Hello!
There he is, the man himself. I was giving like a relief printing tutorial.
Nice. Dude, yeah, that was wild. I'm so sorry about that. That was partly definitely my fault.
No problem.
We just carried the show, you know.
Hell yeah. That's why I have you guys on. I trust you.
I'm just talking to my mom and my little sister, and for real.
Ooh, nice.
They're out here supporting, asking the real questions, like what, telling us what their favorite pizza toppings are. asking about printmaking. They're helping. They're keeping the conversation going for real.
So we're not
That's-
just here like.
Alright.
I know. Well, dude, I couldn't figure out what was going on with my computer. I was like freaking out, and I was like, "Please don't like be broken. I have too much going on to have a broken computer right now." And then like I was playing with T'Challa under my feet at the beginning of the live stream, and I didn't realize that we kicked the computer charger. And once I realized it, I was like, "Oh!"
Times like mid CS:GO match, like I'll kick my power button or something. I've kicked my power button.
That's it scared me, and my computer's like at 1% right now. But hey,
Oh
it's
my
on.
God.
We'll make it through.
I know. We were like wondering. We're like, are we just like held captive until?
Yeah, I was hoping it didn't crash and like lose everything. I would have been so
Or
sad.
is it just like permanently streaming now? Like what happens?
I think this guy's ready for Eraser too now.
Come on, you can lay
I
down.
don't know.
No, I'm
You
getting
can
there
make
with
this
my
way.
piece.
Oh.
You missed me mopping in all the black.
I know. I was really into that Q-tip aspect too.
I want to see if he can come up and kind of see.
I'm telling you, man, the Q-tip is goated in
You gonna
terms
come
of adding black.
Bunny, step up.
Bunny,
Up, up. Up, up. Up,
up,
up.
up.
I got it. Bunny, up, up.
Let's see if he comes up.
Oh.
We have some puppy paws.
Oh yeah, that's what we want.
I don't
Good
know if he's
boy.
on.
T'Challa's
Not
hanging with my
good.
roommate, so
Yeah, you can
Let's
see his little feet for sure. It looks like he's doing all the artwork.
Oh my god, it's so cute. What time is it?
It is.
Oh man.
My phone. O'clock.
um
Alright.
yeah, I think I'm gonna move on to my last horror piece. It's funny that I'm doing these all right now because I drew them all at once too. So inking them all at once is kind of, I think, perfect for them.
Yeah, now I'm doing lettering and final touches. So like this is all pretty much black. There's a little bit of white in there. But now I'm gonna go through and add white and do the lettering. That's pretty much done.
I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Mine's not quite that simple
No,
because I
well,
need to carve out all of this stuff just to. I don't know if you can see. No, there's nothing that's.
You're using like brutal manpower too to do these.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here daintily using a brush.
I'm like,
You're
like
like
fighting this dry old linoleum. If another good linoleum tip out there, you can freaking blast it with a hair dryer and it will soften it up.
ooh, that's cool shit.
People stick it in the oven for a minute. I think that's a little sketchy because I don't really want to pull rubber out of the oven. But the hair dryer works great.
Man, it makes me want to like ink some of these other ones a bit heavier in the blacks now.
Go for it, dude.
More black.
Max, did you just say ew?
No, I said you can always.
Oh,
add
it
more.
sounded like you went ew.
Yeah,
Wow. No, look at my entire thing. It's covered in.
yeah. Look at how like thin my first lines. But this is one of the first pages I tried to ink. Look, it's bare. It's like nothing at all.
Let me see.
Hold on, I gotta make it.
Literally just line out lines.
Yeah.
And that, like, even with this one, super just bare. And this is where I started trying to fill out stuff just a bit more, a little thicker and adding texture. This was just like a quick one I did. But I like trying to fuck with hair on that one.
Yeah.
That was just
So
a black.
this one, you're drawing like every strand of hair.
Yeah, yeah,
Talking
exactly.
about hair volume.
And see, that's where I should fix, like, this Alan Moore piece would be fun to fix up with the hair aspect and adding some dark inks up here and back here. This is probably one of my heavier inker ones, but I can still add more.
Cool when you do like every single hair,
I
like
decided I'm just gonna stop like trying to carve it
The
out because
wrapping?
no one can see what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna carve a little
oh,
bit
a
and
crow.
then do it.
A crow is
big.
awesome.
I love how you did the freaking mouth.
Yeah.
Tight. I really like the individual strand hair on that because it works.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that like on this piece, like I did every single strand of hair pretty much, but
Raise it higher. You can't see the head part.
oh,
There we go.
I can't tell if it's. Where
Oh no, it's good right there. It's good right there.
Right.
Right there.
Okay.
There you go.
So I did every single strand of hair, but what it does is it like gives it like a more like punk quality.
Yeah, that's part of the texture you're going for.
Right, because it's creating a texture versus like realistic hair or like stuff like that.
So when you look at someone, I don't see every
Like,
strand.
look at the Lobo one I did, and I try to do different strokes to add like texture to the hair.
Yeah.
This was a fucking. But I should still darken this one up. Like all these could use more inks now that I've done.
Yeah.
This is,
well,
I think-
even flooding like some backgrounds with inks too.
Yeah.
The figure pops out more. But that's what's nice
So they were
about
also asking us where we use a lot of really heavy black. Like
Yeah.
if you ask someone who doesn't use any black, they might be like, "This is way too much ink on this page." You know?
Yeah, well, it all depends on the feel you're going for, right? So, like, any kind of like horror stuff is great because it's the darkness that
The
you're
darkness.
scared of. But you got to think about light too.
Mhm.
There's tons to think about.
I wish I
That's a fun lesson.
didn't have the bigger block because we were out by my.
Yeah. I'm so afraid of doing a typo. I'm pretty confident in my spelling.
I'm not confident in your spelling. After some of the silly things I've seen you do, I'm not confident in your ability to like.
Yeah, usually I'm like way more anal about my lettering. Like I'll make sure everything's even and nice. But for all the wrap brain pieces, I kind of just because it's more fun. The typography is not like meant to be read like a comic, you know. It's more of like an illustration or like a T-shirt design, you know, like that kind of thing. So I can be a little bit more playful with it.
Go leg texture. There we go. Looks textured to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's the thing I really want to like get over with like inking is just like, all right, just go heavy, just like toss on the black fucking ink.
Go
Just-
for it, bro.
Yeah, well, and if you have these like white pens and stuff, then it makes it less scary because you can always rein it back. Okay, wait. Should I spell morning like sad morning? Should I
Well,
spell
what
morning?
kind of animal is she holding? Is it a mourning dove? Because if it's a mourning dove,
bird? Or do you think it should say I love this?
I think
Death
it
in the
should
morning,
be a mourning
or
dove, in which it's spelled with a U.
should I just spell? Okay, should I spell it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forget. You had that idea a little late, huh?
Yeah, I had the idea right after I did the R, and I was like, oh.
I think these are gonna come out really cool. I hope so. It looks sick.
Yeah.
What are you inking?
That's me for real.
the back bleed.
Yeah, the bleed through of the.
Are you doing Jason right now?
I am. I'm doing Jason at the moment. A quick Jason drawing did. I was frying out at the end of that day. I could tell. And I'd never drawn, you know, anything before. So it's kind of like interesting seeing where I was a few months ago. This one's a bit more complicated because I did some bizarre like shading spots, like patches. So I'm gonna kind of follow what I did and then just like fix it up from there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing like the solid black to show the shading of the clothing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because if you take like a photo into Photoshop and then there's like an option called threshold, and it'll just
Okay.
put you black or white or black and white. Threshold. And that's what it does to clothing, is it creates those weird patterns.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like a legit thing.
But you didn't like that joke.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
You caught quick.
Yeah, usually I'm slow.
Yeah, usually you're dumb.
It is like where I really start to focus is when I'm trying to do like I do a thin stroke and then I start filling it up, like knowing the pressure of how the ink is released and it's going to spread, and you kind of have to like estimate how that ink's going to spread out.
Yeah.
These are kind of like my pencils, what I'm doing right now. Where I'm like kind of lining everything, I guess.
You're doing all the outlines so you can remove.
Yeah, I'm doing all of the outlines so that I can go through and add all of the detail and make everything make sense. Because right now it kind of just doesn't look like anything yet, you know?
Yeah.
Here's my progress. I've cleared out a bunch of the negative space
Oh wow.
around the goat, and then I have finally carved around all of the spokes on my bigger wheel. And
So
now,
you color it to shave off which part? Are you shaving?
so once I have the design on there, I like to put a wash of color so that as I carve away, it's just really easy to see what I've already carved.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at it, like when I put gray on top of gray, even though this is raised up, you can't tell that it's there.
Mhm.
So it starts to get a little bit, it's really just to make it easier. Like, it doesn't change anything in the end other than it makes the whole process a little more pleasant. Like,
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. I like that process though. Of like it brings clarity to it though.
yeah, and it kind of makes it right now so like you can kind of see what's going on. Like you can see these white lines.
It's a good
Everything,
way to measure your progress on it too.
yeah, everything that's pink will be white eventually.
That's fucking sick.
And then everything that is black will stay black. Hopefully. Sometimes
Wow.
and take out a chunk of black, but
I like realized like this is off center now from what it was. Like it's going this way and then it picks up like off this handle. It's all wrong.
what are some of the easiest and hardest techniques you've learned for printing and for inking? Millie asked.
Oh man. I have
Um,
no clue.
you go first. I have to think about it.
I don't know, man. Real hatching, doing proper real cross hatching is a freaking nightmare. That's part of the reason that I don't do it. You can get away with doing it, but doing it how like the masters do it is really insane. Like
David Finch is like the crosshair fucking. He does it so much. That guy almost overdoes cross hatching.
yeah, but what's crazy is that like people will talk about it, right? And so cross hatching isn't just like haphazardly like making these like lines.
They can.
It can be, but
Ooh. You're fine.
but the way that they do it in comics is crazy because it's all evenly spaced and it's all like completely straight or uniform.
Oh, that's how I try to do it.
Right, and then it sells. I don't know. It looks better. It looks more
Just
convincing
looks
for the
nice.
form. Yeah, and then they talk about how it's not just like a line either. It's like a ball that goes out into a point like that.
Yeah. This is what we went over in one of my classes in art school. Was like we had to do copies of master paintings or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I spent a ton of time learning how to fucking cross or like learning how to hatch.
Yeah, because
I
they
don't-
do it like this. They like do like a little ball and then go out.
See,
I'm
I don't
doing
do it
bad
full-
right now.
Yeah, you're just drawing little sperms over and over.
I like
Little
how
tadpoles.
I like how Mignola does it. So Mignola does it where he'll do a circle or whatever, right? And then he'll do his black and white like this, and then so when he wants to convey that it's round, he does these like little triangles.
That's sick.
He'll do
kinda
it like
cool.
that. Yeah, it's really fun because it's way easier to do than these like really thin cross hatching lines, and
It
it
looks
kind of
better.
gives it like a chunkier feel. Then you'll do like a little highlight or whatever. But yeah, he does triangles. You can see him in Stage Fright because Stage Fright actually has a ton of hatching on it.
It does actually.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a good example. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. It was freaking crazy, but like there's a ton of hatching on the forms here. But I do them as either lines or I do them as those triangles. Let me see if I can find a good example of the triangles, because I think I did it once.
What is that supposed to mean?
I have no clue. Oh, this is a great. So right here on this page, right on the nose, the shadow,
Oh yeah, that's fucking
you
sick.
can see that it's just the little triangles. And it gives just enough roundness and shade.
Oh no.
Oh, it's okay.
Help.
I got it.
Okay.
Then what we'll do is we'll do this. Can you help me though?
What?
I got it. It's okay. Take this out. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now we'll screw it in. Make sure it's all good. That should be okay, I think. Right.
I will
Is our
check.
camera fine?
It looks pretty. Oh, it's kind of like going to the top right corner. I mean, top left corner.
Let me look.
It's pretty much.
You should tighten it and put it up and. Oh wait, that might be right now.
It's all delayed, so.
That might be better.
Okay.
There you go. Some of the hardest techniques I've learned in printmaking, I think, is like
Everything.
I think like a ton of like multiple color prints, like relief prints.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to register blocks to each other if your paper. I don't know. I think I think
No, I think-
registration's pretty hard.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Registration.
Registration's hard if you don't have certain tools or like if you don't feel like making the registration box. I don't really understand. I don't like it, I guess. I don't like what it does to the paper. I use very, very I use see-through paper in a lot of my printmaking. So a lot of the registration tools don't
damage
work for me. It works for stuff like a BFK Reeves or a poster paper or something that's like English paper. It works really well on something that can be like roughed with a little bit. But a lot of my like Japanese and Korean paper, my Taikozo, like it's so thin that if I were to put it onto those little contraptions, it would emboss the paper forever, you know? You would see it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not my goal.
Yeah, you should tell Brandon about the destructive color prints.
Oh, the suicide prints.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, what's that?
So it would just be I have one block, and so I have 5 colors that I would like to do on one piece of paper. And I would just carve away each layer per color. So I would print my yellow, and then I would carve the block, and then print my orange, and then carve the block, and then print my red, and then carve the block.
oh, it creates like a limited run.
So I
because
can
you're
only
destroying the
do
block.
as many as I print that yellow of.
That's
So if I
fucking
only
sick.
print 10, an addition 10 prints, that's as many as there will ever be of that, because I destroy the block in the process. Why it's called suicide print is because you're carving away the block for each layer of color that you put on there.
Nice.
It's crazy. I've done a lot of screen prints like that. I've not done a lot of relief prints like that.
Interesting, dude. That's fucking wild. Yeah, that's a whole new other universe I know nothing about in general, screen printing and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like
I'd be really interested though.
I
yeah,
love printmaking.
it's like imagine if like
It's what I went to school for, so I hope I would love it.
imagine if like printing comics was like that though. Like you send an order off to the printer, and they're like, "All right, well, you only ordered 50, so that's all that's ever going to exist, and you can never print more."
Dude, that's fucking wild. I mean, if you want to be like Kiss and put your blood into it, maybe.
Yeah,
It
I would
happens.
do it.
It
I would
happens
do
all
it.
the time. Like these tools will slice you open and you will bleed all over it sometimes. Like
Yep. I've bled on my pages before, which is weird because I
Yeah.
don't deal with anything sharp.
how did that happen?
I don't remember. I did end up with blood on a page though.
That's weird. You're literally just like hanging
well,
out
I
with
guess
brush
maybe
pens.
on like art, less so than like comic pages. No, because
No.
I've used like using like X-Acto knives or whatever,
yeah,
sharpening
baby.
a pencil.
One of the easiest things I've learned for printmaking. I don't know. I think I don't know. It just makes sense in my brain, I think.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
got
it's
the-
for everybody because it's a weird way of thinking about.
You have to think
Making
backwards.
marks.
Like you have to think in an inverted image, and it just makes sense to me. And some people it cannot picture it in their head, which is fine. No hate. No hate at all. Like
But it's tricky to visualize.
I think that the easiest part is just being able to think backwards. I was just able to do it. I didn't have to learn that part.
Nice.
Because it makes sense to draw, right? You're making
Yeah,
you're
like
adding where you want to add.
it's just drawing backwards, you know? So if you know how to draw, I think it makes sense to draw backwards. I don't know. I know some people in my class had really struggled with it. Like it was really hard to teach people how to draw backwards. In this sense, like one of my students really couldn't get it. And
Yeah.
I don't remember how I ended up explaining.
That's what would trip me out the most. Just being such a amateur at this. Like I could see it once you like paint it, but then you have the image on it. I guess I'd have to really take a hands-on approach to it, though.
Yeah, it's really hard to like. I think just hearing it and doesn't make any sense. Like seeing it and feeling it is how I learn.
Yeah,
And so it makes sense to me that seeing it and feeling it, especially for something as tactile as printmaking, like I understand why it would be so hard to kind of understand what goes into it and how to do it without actually, excuse me, I had a hiccup, without doing it.
I feel like this one was like just a messy one to start, but I hope I get the hair right down.
Okay.
What were you telling me to do about the hair? How did you describe to do it?
Okay.
Do you want to
Set
piece
your
of paper?
yeah, probably. It's hard to tell on this tiny little thing, but hold your brush like sideways to where you want the hair. So like the hair is going down, right? So your pen should be like side to side. And then put the brush down and then flick it out really fast.
Oh, I have
But
raccoon prints up here. There's
you'll
another
get it heavier because you have a heavier brush pen than I do.
I have another relief print.
Yeah, it was just the way I angled it from the start, and I just had to write that out. That's still okay for how it needed it.
Yeah, but you just put your pen sideways and then flick down, or you can flick up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then you'll do it on both sides, flicking down and flicking up. Or you can flick not as like far, and then you'll get like shorter little spikes. It's all about like playing around with it all, really. Yeah,
It's
so
like kind of feeling your brush and shit too, like knowing where it's gonna go.
yeah, right. So you'll have like a head.
I think it's the biggest thing too is just like being in tune with your instrument and just like knowing how to control its like behaviors and shit.
Orby. And then okay, so Orby here has like
No, we should name it
long ass hair, right? He's got like yeah, you got like long ass hair. I don't know.
Aww. We do this differently, also.
But if you want to do the hair, right? So then they have, let's say, Orby has light hair, then you don't want there to be like all of these like heavy marks. Kind of just like imply it at the ends here, or like give a little bit of texture.
I'll show you how I do this. Because I do it totally different.
And then here's like a shadow, and then like a little bit of texture. And then if they have dark hair, that's where you'll do the thing that I was talking about, is where you like flick, and then you'll create kind of these like strandish textures. But you're basically doing this and then flicking up. And this isn't just an exaggerated version of it. But you flick out fast, you get that taper.
Cool.
Do like this, like down, get away. It creates like a strandish texture. And you can go back in and then like refine it and add your thin kind of lines. But you want it all to like be like fast and fluid, because if you start hesitating, you'll get those like wobbly lines, you know.
I can see that for sure.
Or if it's like short hair, like I guess. Yeah, you just go for it.
Yeah.
But like, how do you do like light hair?
You just do an outline, huh?
Pretty much. Here, I'll do another little.
But like short hair, you'll do like this, and then like a little bit of like whatever texture.
Interesting.
And then this, you don't have a lot of room to play with, so you can do like a little bit of shading front for short hair, but otherwise, like
Yeah, it's pretty much just. I do a little bit of like the shading where there's definite shadow, but it's more with light hair. I do a little more of like strands, I guess, so you can see it.
yeah.
I do
don't
it
know.
more.
And it's like every mark that you make on a face too, like immediately adds like 5 years to that person.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
Because each one is going to be like an implied wrinkle, So like, or it'll look like face paint.
But definitely, I think the three things I inked tonight is Freddy. Freddy was fun. I think Freddy kind of came out pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
I should go find my sketchbook and.
I think Michael Myers is the fucking winner, though. I think this is where I fucking won.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this Jason was messy to start with. It was like a really messily like drawn piece, so it wasn't well put together. I could tell it was a rush job, and I was tired when I made it.
And you're in the flow for the Michael Myers.
So I found an example of a relief print that's got some hatching in it. Let me find a tool. I wonder if I should. This is also some of my see-through paper. You can literally see the other paper through it. Do this like a teacher. Can you come help me hold this paper up now? So I can use one hand to point.
Yeah, I want to finish my piece though. I'm almost done.
Right there. Yeah, so I've got some hatching like through the fur, and it's less for shading and more for texture, but it's still like in printmaking, you can get these same lines that you get with a pen. So this
takes
is
a lot more work.
Cool.
It does take a ton of work. So it's still the same concepts, really. It's just backwards and not quite as refined unless you're going on a very large scale. And then this is some of the background noise I was talking about, like, whoops, there it goes. Like it's kind of like a splattery water texture or spider webs, maybe. It's kind of how it looks a lot of the time. It's just the flow of your carve prints sometimes. And it's similar to an etching plate tone.
How cool, man! That's fucking rad. I'm glad we got to see a lot of fun stuff tonight, from fucking inking to a page being done to some interesting printmaking. We don't always get such diverse things going on.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like, it's crazy because like Milo's craft, printmaking, is like the same shit that lets comics be seen in the first place.
That's how everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's how all was printed, was all like
Letterpress.
crazy. Yeah, letterpress and screen print machines that to do colors and halftones
And those started with etchings, which started with mezzotint, which started with. It goes back crazy far, you know?
Yeah, so we all owe the whole craft of comics to
me,
Milo's
basically.
craft. Yeah.
I'm
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to a lot of these drawings and just really slap on some like heavier inks then. There's a lot of opportunity for them.
You should.
What was that?
I said you should.
Yeah, yeah. I think it definitely they deserve it, and I could really kind of elevate them a lot more.
Plus,
And
it's
just not being afraid to like just put it on there, you
on
know.
that page, you know. Oh, that looks sick, Brandon. I love it. I like watching you lay down ink.
I'm gonna do something a little
Psychotic?
weird. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like
I'm
it or
scared.
not. We'll see.
Do you want a straw or something?
No.
Uh-oh.
What?
It's,
I know it's not blowing right, huh?
and I don't think I like it. There's already so much black on the page. You scared Ben.
You look psychotic when you do this.
You look like you're doing coke. Mm-mm.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Good boy, Bunny. Whoa. Oh, it's that crazy one.
Fuck yeah. Dude, I already feel like this Orion piece like looks better by just adding some shit to his legs.
Is there a way to see who's here?
I don't know.
I would love to know who's here. This is so fun. I love this drawing stream. Art
Yeah,
stream.
dude, just super fucking laid back. We just hang out. There's no pressure. Like, I mean, and the thing about it is like I'm gonna do the worst out of everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even gotta worry about that. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing, so
That's
Takes-
okay. Who cares?
That's what it's about.
I'm
like
gonna
that.
have some fun.
That's the whole point of the show. Is
I'm
just
scratching away at like a sheet of rubber. Like it's all made up.
Yeah, it's the funnest thing about doing the show is that like I want to encourage people to try it out. Because if I could do it live and not know what I'm doing, you could do it in the comfort of your place, not being live and doing it with us.
Yeah, and encouraging writers to draw too,
Oh yeah, there's that too.
because I think it's super important for them to learn.
Yeah, you need to do like shitty drawings. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, anything helps.
and it has helped me like creatively for sure. Like coming up with the sigil for Teenage Babylon and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
love that shit.
And it helps like to understand how things in your book would work, you know?
yeah,
Mhm.
and you understand more. So like when an artist is like, "Oh, we can't do that," you know, you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
why?"
Hi, Oba. How are you?
It's Milo's grandmother.
Look, Oba. I'm doing a goat ride, penny farthing.
How rad. Fuck that
Oh,
up.
This
see,
is
now
the
it's full.
first time I've ever really done anything like that. Actually,
Hi, good.
to that point. I should black this up. Do my little dots over it.
So I had a bunch of meetings with creators today. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Kind of scouting out a couple creators for this imprint, and the two like teams I spoke to were really great people, and might have some great contributions to this. It's going to be really Max and well, all three of us talked on the phone about it for like an hour and a half the other day.
It was like 2
and
hours.
It was
like 2 hours. Yeah, it was a while.
just hanging
Um,
out in the grass
I was
outside.
I was
so
on the phone.
thirsty.
I was on the phone with Mark for like 3.5 hours the other day.
Yeah, he told me about that. He was just telling me. Fucking. That was too funny hearing that because I was like, dude, I talked to Max for like 2 hours yesterday. Like, um, we had a big talk about community and understanding some aspects, and all these people were just so aligned and like excited for what I was like pitching to them. I was like, fuck yeah, like it's cool that you and I were like, hey, we should, look for this in a trait so they can understand some stuff. And then these people were like, that's brilliant. I get it. Like, that
Yeah.
sounds awesome. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be cool once it all starts coming together too.
Yeah, y'all are rad.
The
Get a print
I
of that.
don't-
Get a print of that. I think this is gonna be in the next Rat Brain Oba.
It might be even sooner than that. It might be in the collected edition. that we're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking about that yet.
Well, why not?
Because I'm just not
Well,
sure.
it's
what
up
the
to
story
us.
is. Oh. I was like, I don't know what the rules are about it.
There's no rule. No, it's whatever we want. We're thinking about printing a collection of Rat Brain scenes. So
yeah,
doing
a volume
1, 2,
1 through 3.
Yeah, and a larger issue kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that the cover is going to be like a little king rat, or a rat king. Sorry, King Rat is a Modest Mouse song.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, a Rat King with maybe a Rat Jesus.
Yeah, underneath a rat Jesus.
But we might add these pieces into it. Just
Yeah.
to add a couple of extra pages
Yeah, just to have some stuff in there.
as a bonus.
Damn, this Orion looks way better already, to be honest.
Yeah.
See
Way
me
better.
hatching in here.
Yeah, here's that crazy technique that I was talking about earlier down in the bottom of the shirt.
Oh, wait, we can't see it. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. See, so it was white, and then I added some like folding, right? And then what I did was I used that like spray technique to spray like an even-ish like gray over everything, and then I took that white out and added back in the lights, or like the highlights of the cloth.
Sick. Gosh,
But
that's
it looks, and then after that I went back over it with a black pen to sharpen up all those.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I never thought about doing that too.
Right. Yeah. So it's like
I've been
back and
Whatever.
forth between adding black and adding white until you get whatever you want.
I gotta get one of those pens, and what I try to do is just use one brush or one pen style for
Yeah.
each one, and to try to really master that fine pointness with this brush. But I do, when I need to use a micron, I have to break down and like use a micron to get that real thin line.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly I stopped using microns. I used to. Well, I didn't. I'd used fine line pens, but I'd use these Faber-Castell ones instead of microns.
Well,
Okay, sick.
Microns I feel like are just so accessible. You can get
Yeah.
them at like Walmart now.
Yeah,
like, they're
for sure.
everywhere. They're a great
Yeah.
option, especially to figure out how you like to use pens.
Yeah. And
You know how you like to use them, so you can get the ones that cost a little bit more.
yeah, and our specialties. But that's where I started, was using the fine liner pens, and then I got a big pack of fine liner pens that had a brush pen in it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then that's all I'd use. And then I started using the chisels that would come with the packs, and I'd be like, oh, this is cool too. And then that kind of led me to these two different pens, and so I just use a brush pen, and then I use these pilot parallels with the crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Pilot parallels with the crazy nibs on them. Let me do this on the white. Let's get it better. And then once I got good at those, then I added the white out and then the white pen.
I accidentally carved out one of my black lines.
But if you gave me these 5 tools, I could do everything really, you could even take out one of the pens. I usually just use one or the other, depending on what I'm working on. Like the cyberpunk stuff, I only used these Pilot Parallel chisel pens because I wanted it to have that harsher edge and sharper feel to it.
So yeah, that's how I feel about these two.
Yeah,
I can get away with everything if I just have these two pens, my EC Leons and my Flex Cut Micro tool.
yeah. And then
That's fucking sick.
I use the brush pen when I want stuff that's a little more fluid or organic.
That's cool to hear because the three I always go to is like my brush pen. I have one really thin micron, like just for like real thin tips. Wait, where's my
Yeah.
camera? And then I have this one that's kind of like it's flat, just like a flat head.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's
and
like a tip.
yeah,
Flathead.
I love that.
You're a flathead.
Yeah, I know there's people. There's like older comic artists who like just use like a number 2 pencil and like Sharpies,
Yeah, for reals.
but they'll crazy modify their Sharpies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they'll cut off the tip of their Sharpie at like an angle
Uh-huh.
to give it a different feel because the Sharpies are just like regularly round, right?
Yeah.
So they cut it off at an angle so that you have a tip, like a fine point tip, and then you have that fat edge. If you hold it the other way, and then you have that like the rounder side for whatever, for like the dry brushing.
Oh shit.
It's
Okay.
crazy. People modify everything.
That's fucking rad. That's cool shit to hear.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
this,
that's what we're gonna do, like to the ink that we're gonna screen print with. We're gonna custom mix some of those colors, baby.
Yeah. Even this pen is modified. Not very much, but this ink container that I have in here
Uh-huh.
is like a third party thing. It's just an ink adapter, so I get to fill the cartridge back up over and over again with whatever ink I choose. And I just twist this little red thing, and it sucks up the ink that I want
Oh shit, that's cool.
instead of using the disposable cartridges.
That's fucking rad. That's super interesting.
An ability for you.
Yeah, that way I'm not using single-use plastic over and over and spending $1 billion.
Well, fuck, guys, we are at the 2-hour mark. How are you guys feeling? Are you gonna go on, or are you guys?
When I'm so close, I would love
Are
to
you close?
finish. I would love to finish carving this today.
Nice?
You should do a. Oh no, never mind.
There's
That's
no way I
stupid.
could do a poll.
I was gonna say you should try to do a poll just so that we could see what it looks like when we print it.
I could do a poll if you have acrylic paint. I could do a really shoddy poll, but it would be rough.
Well, we'll see how we're feeling.
But I'm good to keep going if everyone's
What about
good to
you,
keep
Brandon?
going.
How are you doing?
I can go for another, like, what time is it? I can go for another 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. And then
That's enough time.
we'll do a shitty poll at the end of the stream.
I cannot promise that. I don't have any of my stuff up here.
I started working on this TMNT last Ronin thing I had because it was just so bare, it was just pure. You can see just line pencil, thin line pencils. One of the first ones I did for sure. But I need my fucking brush to like ink back up a little bit too.
It kind of looks like a pig and not a goat now. It might just be
I want
because
to
it's that peach.
check out what you're doing, Brandon.
Oh, I've got it right here.
Oh, you do?
I have it pulled up. It's just that my phone was over here because it is at.
I can show you my Orion right now too.
I can-
Right here, I got it. It's cool. I had a teacher that was obsessed with TMNT, and so I've always looked at the last Ronin stuff and trying to figure out if I want
They're
to.
making a new.
The last Ronin was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a big TMNT fan at all. Check this out though, Max. Look at these guys. Look at this. This was the Ronin. I just touched up really quick. Not Ronin, Orion. I feel like just that ink helped a lot.
Yeah, and you get that like that shiny feel too. It's awesome. Yeah, and so now like the mega experiment, right, is like doing a graphic shape around the figure, like a circle or whatever,
Okay.
and then popping that in with like a black. And seeing how that would look. I'll show you
Ooh, okay.
on here.
I'll show you.
Because it's gonna sound insane.
I want to have on the next one that we do of these, we need to have an "I'll show you" counter.
Yeah.
How many times does Max say "I'll show you"? Per stream?
Yeah, honestly.
Right. So this is like your figure. And you have some blacks here, and then you have some like blacks here, blacks like that.
Do you get the text?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Like doing stuff like this, like this is your page, right? And it's kind of just floating in the middle here. So you can do like cool fine stuff. This is all just like extra stuff to make your stuff like kind of like look cool and posted. But then you do like this, and then like, okay, cool. Now he kind of pops out a little bit, and then do another one. It kind of goes like this. And then you're like, oh, that's cool. And then like draw some ground in here. Or whatever.
Oh, I see. That's cool shit.
You're just drawing like vague background stuff. Or like if you're drawing like a person, right? So here's like a head, a little profile bust or whatever. You can then draw like a circle around it and then mop that in with black. But this is all like what's like, you know, thumbnailing and composition stuff. So this is all just like fancy extra stuff.
That's cool shit.
But it, you know, it impacts it all. Because this, like, if you do this, right, then like it's the same thing as if you're doing a page, right? And then figuring out your panels is like, okay, well, do I want to do like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about some cool panel layouts that I've seen. There's this one from Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. And him in the center in this like circular panel like this, like maybe here or something. And then it radiates out in this like jagged glass-esque pattern. And then it's like him committing like all of these like terrible crimes in each one, but it like kind of creates like a cool like the idea that he's the center of all of this, but all of these things are happening all at once.
Oh shit, that's cool.
But it's all composition stuff. It's the same thing as this. It's the exact same thing as that. In essence.
That's cool. Yeah, backgrounds are going to be something I need to dive into to like just finish my pieces and make them.
I am not the person to go to for backgrounds. Let me tell you that.
me either.
I do them. I've definitely done them for panels and whatever, but I hate doing it.
I don't know how to freaking. I can't do it. Don't ask me.
Yeah, I started as doing characters. I would also suggest if you're wanting to like get more into inking.
I'm so impressed with people that do like land like design,
Yeah,
landscape design.
Dude, that's freaking crazy. If you're wanting to get more into inking, I would suggest figuring out how to do different textures. Like just playing around to see what you can get. So like This is like a cool texture that I do. You just layer like. Or let me dip this into something so it makes more sense. But, you can do this with a brush pen too, but you do like this kind of thing, just little tiny dots of whatever, and then this kind of like it's just abstract, really, but um, it can be like dragon scales, it can be like feathers, kind of like
It could be
fluffy
brick,
texture.
cobblestone.
Yeah, it could be bricks. Yeah, like if you do it like this.
Even that, it kind of just looks like cobble, you know?
Yeah, or whatever.
Huh.
Figuring out like shorthands to making textures, or like stage fright has like this like grimy bathroom,
Yeah.
and so that's just like basically doing like these like all dried up now. Get this one goes better. It's a lot of these just like jagged textures, and then you can kind of like branch it off, do little mark here to indicate like scuffs, and then doing like little circles is like chips, not complete circles, but stuff like that, and that'll give you like a dirty looking texture.
That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, that's a big thing I haven't really dabbled into at all. Is just like finding textures for stuff. Everything's very flat for what I've done.
Yeah, and like shorthand for like what things should look like. Oh yeah, is that you're using that chisel pen now, aren't you?
Yeah, man, my brush was just drying out too hardcore.
I like the chisel pens.
I love them.
Yeah, they're cool.
It's kind of just an interesting way to like angle and get like I like that spiky kind of look for a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. That texture.
Oh, and it
Uh,
makes like the triangle cross hatching like unbelievably easy.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Um, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you drawing right now. So do you use reference most of the time, or no, not at all?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I use the fuck out of a reference.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like a
draw
imaginative.
without. It's crazy.
Dude, yeah, I can't. My,
I only do it for stuff that I really want, like a very specific.
unless I'm just like
Or, but for
bullshitting,
most
maybe.
of my little like dudes, like I just go for it.
Yeah.
Again, for my ink on paper, like pen ink on paper,
Uh-huh.
I'll just go for it.
Yeah.
All of these drawings in this notebook for Inktober were referenced from something. I can name them all, like except for this Alan Moore one. This Alan Moore one, I straight up just like fucking made myself. Where is it?
I love the crow one. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. Oh, this Swamp Thing one I haven't inked because I'm scared because I really love these pencils and I'm fucking just terrified. I just like nailed his face and I just one day I'll do it.
Yeah.
This I did in like 15 minutes, so that's why that's so shitty too. But this Alan Moore one was like a freehand, like I'm just gonna figure this out. But that was it.
Right?
That's what it's all about. It's just playing around.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
I can't wait to, and then like I have like all these were referenced somehow, but I have this really cool Lovecraft one I want to ink. That'll be real intricate and shit with a
We
thin
can't
one.
pull prints, Max. It shakes the table.
Yeah, that is cool.
Some Astro Boy. A lot of stuff I have, and then I have like stuff from like I like this David Bowie one I thought about doing tonight. This was one of our first drawn shit episodes. But I have a couple things that are just uninked or unfinished in this picture. But these were all the beginning drawing shit days.
Yeah, the same. And that was cool.
Little Batman Beyond and shit.
Yeah, there are some artists that only do they don't do inks.
Yeah, honestly.
They'll do it. Sometimes they'll do it for specific purposes, like they'll do it to show like a different timeline, or like to show that like a character romance, like or whatever. They'll only use pencils, or like Dave Baker.
Your eyebrows, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Dave Baker does Halloween Boy pretty much all in pencil. He does it digitally, but it's only pencils. It's not like hard inks or anything like that.
That's fucking cool. I think Spawn is one of those characters I could draw like out of nowhere sometimes. This Vader one I was pretty proud of, but like none of them are just finished. That's what's so cool about the show is that some nights we do prompts and some nights we just like finish unfinished work, and you just fuck around and figure out how to use things.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just made a pizza.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm carving my little linoleum triangles out of my penny farthing now.
Oof. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of inking. That was a lot of fucking figuring shit out right now. That was fun.
Yeah. And like it's like professional page speed, right? It's like you're supposed to do a whole page from nothing to inks finished in 8 hours.
Fucking shit. Good
Yeah.
God.
That's the goal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's what people work
There's
towards.
some crazy people out there who do like 3 pages a day, and I'm like, I don't know
I
what the
did
hell
it.
is wrong with you. You finished.
I mean,
Yes.
we'll have to see based off of like an artist proof and stuff in the future.
You can't
but-
That's sick.
Real quick?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah, your stuff's not up here.
I have
It'll
nothing
take forever
over
to
here.
get set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it looks like, and then it comes out like this on paper.
Nice.
But-
Gosh, it's so cool. My friend Danny did some shit like that at one point. That's really fucking cool that you do that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's only one of these in the world of the originals,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like it's precious versus this is like it's the people's medium. Everybody gets that.
True.
Thanks.
What? Well, there's only one of the block in the world.
True.
That's true.
Well, it's that's what you're sharing art with.
That's why I
everybody.
sell my prints for so low compared to some of my peers. Like,
Yeah, because everybody deserves to have that art.
hold all this shit, would you?
I wish I
Yeah.
could give all my comics away just for free.
I can't.
And,
I
like,
won't. pay this.
No,
Prints
but I'm saying in an ideal world, like
is my art.
art. Yeah.
I do some little ones, misprints y'all can have.
Y'all are adorable.
Linoleum.
Yeah, that's the aftermath of his printmaking.
A big clump of pile of rubber bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the putting away stuff is always like the hardest part because you're like, fuck, dude, I like don't want to. I'm done. I just want to walk away from the desk. But like, if I don't put my stuff away at the end of the night, everything stays a mess forever.
I just leave my stuff.
Hi, Sofu.
But yeah, I mean, guys, that was a fun. Thank you for getting me to draw again tonight. I'm gonna try to get Tank Ray Garza, Tank McGregor on next week and to hang out with us.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
we'll be working on some stuff. We have a lot of stuff to announce that we're all working on together. So everyone, stay tuned. And yeah, thanks for hanging.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Brandon.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, we had a blast. We'll do it again.
I would love to do it again for sure.
Definitely gonna bring you guys back on soon. So we'll find some fun stuff. We'll have a draw-thon. We'll get some LKC people on for Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah.
That'd be great.
All right.
All right. Later. Have a good night, man.